Hey, this is Royce Hall, your host of the Coffee Dreaming Podcast. I'm a Salesforce consultant by day and podcaster by night, and today I'm joined by Mark Good of AI Force Training. This is an episode I don't think you're going to want to miss. We talk about AI, we talk about agents, we talk about the future of work with agents, LLMs, all the hot topics these days, and what that looks like in the Salesforce ecosystem, including where is Salesforce going with robotics? Are we looking at a Wall-E future or are we looking at a Terminator future? And what the workforce is going to look like in the not too distant future. Please like, subscribe, and send in some questions, emails. Love to hear from you.
What's happening with agents is the UI is being questioned. Really, what's happened with LLMs is the UI is being questioned, pulled into question. And I think that's like HTML still matters. HTML renders the websites that we stare at and look at, and that's our user interface essentially. And so, right, what's really happening across the landscape is like the LLM comes along, an agent comes along, which is like an LLM on steroids, and it's just questioning the user interface. It's questioning, when do we actually need to be on a website to like consume information or provide information? And like, we don't actually need to be on a website as much anymore. Chatbots, like those are obviously a big thing. Going back to like, why is Salesforce going into the robotic space? I've also said to myself, this doesn't make sense to me. But Salesforce has a really interesting, seemingly like relationship with Boston Dynamics. And I have to think in the back of my mind, and Mark Benioff, if you'll just email me and confirm this if you get this, but I have to think in the back of my mind
CC me.
that chatting with CC, I like that. Chatting with a robot. If there are robots out in the world, and there will be, there's gonna be tons of them, and then robots are gonna become an interface for us. So just like a website, we're talking to a robot. And if robots become an interface for us as a human, well, and Salesforce is all about customer relationship management, CRM, human relationship management. Well, if we're chatting with robots instead of like visiting a website to interact and do a thing in the real world, now if your company is responsible in some way or all the way for the relationship that you have through that robot with the company, whatever company is running that robot, whatever service you're trying to get, whatever service is being provided by a company, go back to what I said earlier, like the qualifying your lead. Your robot is now the chat interface. Your robot is the website, or that robot is. And so does Salesforce need to be plugged into robots? Maybe. I don't know.
That is a good point. And the value of Salesforce is like it integrates with everything, right? Like it can integrate with everything. It's the central hub of data and activity in your organization. So I think of, we were talking about manufacturing settings. So like you have a robot that's building things like, what if we had a service robot that is aware of where a product is in the manufacturing system. So like you have like your ERP, and it's like, okay, it's on stage 23 of 25 on the assembly line, and a customer calls in and wants to know what's going on. Like, your robot could be tied into like, okay, in my CRM, it's John Doe calling and asking about that part that he ordered 3 weeks ago, or was it the other one? Was it order number 2? Which one did you want to know about? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it was number 2. It's actually on step 17, and like, I, nobody wants to answer that question, but like it has to be answered, right? That's a good customer service, and maybe that's how you tie in with that robot. Or hey, like, guess what? We're on stage 17. The next step is step 18. We're putting the steering wheel in the car. We're about to put the default in one. Did you want the leather one? Like now it's upselling for you.
That's really interesting examples that you're bringing up there, because I just had this thought recently. I was looking at the pizza ordering process. You order a pizza like Papa John's or whatever,
Yeah.
and they've got like this status thing. It's like your pizza's in the
Yeah.
oven, your pizza's here. So kind of similar, but you tied it into the cars and like automotive manufacturing, and those are two starkly different. Like we're talking about making a pizza versus making an automobile. The price is way different. The process is way different, obviously, but fundamentally, the customer has a challenge, which is, I want to know, I paid, $20 for pizza, or I paid like $20,000 for a vehicle. Like, I want to know the status of this thing that I ordered. I gave you my money. Now where's the thing?
Right.
And so that challenge is still the same. And just the question of like how the question gets asked and how the question gets answered, and all the stack in between is in the future happening through an LLM. Is the decisions, the evaluations are going to be happening through LLMs, but the data lake is the same. Like, the data underneath it is all the same. Like, you still got to like track the thing in some kind of way and store the tracking status and then provide that to the agent. Or, as you say, if you've got a robot with agentic capabilities, it gets the request, it can walk to the assembly line, like visually see what's happening and what's where. That's kind of backwards in my mind. Like, you wouldn't want to do that as a manufacturing company, but
well, they want to be all
yeah,
tied together. You want a hive mind.
Hive minded. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really it's fascinating, and we really can create a pizza delivery type of experience with an automotive manufacturing company. Like, the tech is like bringing us to that stage of capability at this point, in my opinion.
Well, and we're not presently at the state that Salesforce showed off at Dreamforce last year, where you can call in and like talk to the digital bot, right, and get updates. But I think that's where that's a possible future, or probable future, of that kind of SaaS-less software experience, right, where you're calling in and interacting with not a person, but you're actually having a conversation with the LLM directly. So that's not just automotive, that's not just pizza. Like, that could be for our software companies. Like, okay, somebody calls in, like, I put in a ticket a month ago. Like, you see people complaining about that on forums and whatnot, like, this ticket has not been answered, I don't know what's going on. Like, well, what if you can call in and ask the service bot, tell me the update on the ticket, what's going on, and get an update there. And again, that would be a kind of a SaaS-less experience. Like, you don't have to log in, you don't have to go to a website, you just interface directly with the thing. So
Yeah.
and I think
That's what's happening.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I've heard from other people as well. Is like, you hear people like at Microsoft declaring like SaaS is dead. In 5 years, there's not going to be SaaS software anymore. It's all going to be direct interface without logging into anything. So it's possible. You can kind of see how it happened.
I can see it. The automation I talked about a little bit ago, there's certain tools that I have to interface with daily, and I don't have to interface with those specifically as much anymore with the solution that I deployed, an agentic solution. And so, yes, I experience exactly what you're talking about firsthand, and I see it. And I'm no like global enterprise or anything, but maybe one day. And it's like the human interface is changing. I think that's the easiest way to put it. The human interface is changing. And then if you're a professional working for a company, if you can command the new user interface, kudos. Like, you're going to capture value out of this transition, this change. That's what I see.
Yeah. You know what we need, Mark? This just popped into my head. This is what we need right here.
What's that?
Yeah.
What do we need?
We need a robotic Astro. It just sits on your desk. You can talk to it. It answers questions. Tell me about the Jane Doe account, Astro, and it sits there and talks to you. We're gonna revolutionize the Salesforce plushie game. We're gonna have like like my kids when they were babies, they had like the little talking robot toys. Like it's like an upgrade to Astro here.
It's an upgrade. Hey, Salesforce gives away all these plushies for free, right? You know how to do that? Maybe you should go check your plushies. They might be listening to us all this time. Maybe they serve an actual purpose already.
Oh geez. Oh geez. I'm gonna like. Sorry, Astro. You're gonna be like dissected here in about 30 minutes.
Can you imagine?
Actually, I have a big Doberman. He loves stuffed animals. I'll just.
Oh no,
that'll take care inside.
of it. That'd be cool. I would do like a little robotic Astro. That'd be kind of neat. Like, only if it's tied into CRM. It's funny. One of the first things I thought about when LLMs really like became super popular, when the API came out, you could actually use them for real as a person, as an individual. That's when I was thinking about this, about like little robots around your house. And I'm sure they're coming. I haven't seen them show up yet, but like the Alexas and the the Googles of the world. Sorry if that's triggering. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this part, but sorry if that's triggering for you.
Say it louder.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like, being able to interface with little Astros or little whatevers around your house is going to be pretty cool. I can't wait for that. Like,
Be like the Jetsons.
do this stuff for me,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, there's actually a guy like my brother-in-law showed me a video. There's actually a guy who's doing that. He's like built himself a couple of versions of like a little robot that sits on his shoulder, and he just has conversations with it. And it's not
Really?
it's not like, okay, robot, go vacuum for me. Like, I've got my vacuum robots. I want a
Yeah.
robot that dusts for me. Like, there's nothing that does.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be sick.
But it's not like going out and doing those functions, but like he's loaded it up with enough knowledge. I don't think it's like an IoT. I think it like all the information's local. But he's loaded up, and like it just sits on his shoulder like a little parrot, and he talks to it and asks it questions. And I can imagine if you had that same thing, but it's connected to your CRM, which is connected to everything else. That's a pretty powerful assistant there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wide open. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with all of the like robotics space, but I am very excited for the human robot that I can buy and deploy in my home to do things for me, just like general cleanup and things like that, dishes, like laundry, like just whatever, do whatever needs to be done around here, and like free up myself and my wife to just do more fun things, more exploratory things, just have a more enjoyable life. So I'm looking forward to those robots. And if they're connected to CRM, because like I have a personal profile with Salesforce, and Salesforce wants to deliver me some cool stuff, just like make my life great and have a great experience, then I'm happy to, negotiate my privacy in that way and let you have something so that you can make things happen for me.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be the next step of Alexa. Hey, hey robot, why don't you buy me another, protein shake and send it to the house tomorrow? Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
have it, in home. Like the buying experience is even closer.
Yeah, it's close. I know there's some stuff going on with like Alexa, Google, where you could do something like that, but I just love the idea of like if I open the fridge, or no, if I go to get like a coffee pod, like I use like Nespresso. If I go to grab a coffee pod and they're just out, I'm in the flow. Like I gotta get to work. I'm working, right? So I have to stop. I have to open my phone, like get on Amazon, look for the subscription. Like, when is it supposed to come next? And maybe change the subscription or whatever. Like in that moment, I just want to be able to say, oh no, coffee pods are out. Hey, robot, like just order it. And it could be on Google. I don't care. Can you just make sure I get this? And they have to know in the back end that I've got a subscription. They'll just basically do my flow, whatever my flow was. They need to do that and just know my stuff and then get it to me ASAP, or tell me if it's not going to be here or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Well,
make my life
you're
great.
going down coffee, like you're going down my love language here, and all my passion. But there actually is a company. It's very ingenious. They did this years and years ago. They still do it, where it's not a pod experience. It's like whole bean or ground coffee. But if you subscribe, they send you a free coffee scale. Now, the actual money behind that's not just them being generous. Like I use my coffee scale every day because I do manual pour over coffee because it's a much better experience. But that's another story for another day. But what they're doing is you put your coffee on the scale, and it's constantly reporting back to them how much coffee you have. And when you get low, it just sends you more.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
Wait, so but wherever you store the scale is where you're also storing your coffee,
The
like
coffee
the
has to
actual
be
bag with the
on the
grounds
scale.
for the beans. Yeah.
Yep. So you
Oh.
put the bag on the scale and just leave it there, and it measures how much you have, and then when you get low, it sends you more.
Who is this company? And also, you need to put your affiliate link in the description.
I know, right? I forget.
Okay. No affiliate link then.
I'll find it and send it to you.
No, you don't have to find it. But yeah, that's cool. That's pretty sick. I love that concept.
Yeah.
I'm doing
They do too.
building
It's unlimited money.
Yeah. Like that's why you would never cancel your subscription, because you always have your coffee on tap, and they've created a service as opposed to just a product.
Exactly.
I'm creating like a guerrilla marketing item right now, which is a Salesforce agent force agent that pays you. So basically, you
I'll take 1,000 of
engage with this agent. You'll take 1,000. I don't know if they're going to be for sale. They're very high in demand. Um,
them.
but for right now, it's just personally for us. It's going to market the Agent Force Bootcamp. But if you go chat with this bot, you will get paid. Like, it actually pays you. If you chat with it with the email address that you have tied to your PayPal account, you will get money. We're going to say that it prints money. The first Agent
Right on.
Force bot that prints money. That's going to be cool. It's like a marketing gimmick, but I
Yeah.
think it's fun. It
Well,
just
I'm still recording.
displays
Do
the
you want me to
power.
tell everybody that
It's
free
fine.
money
I don't
from
know.
Mark? Mark's giving away
Free
money.
money. Sure, why not? Yeah, if you don't post this right away, yeah, we'll have it out by then.
That's right.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's like it just shows off the power of agent force and automation, and like what you can do if you're creative and commanding the human interactive experience. And oh, can you hear that?
No.
No. Oh, there's money sound in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll. It's a longer story, but like it's crazy. We I am gamifying. Maybe this is a longer. This is a crazy discussion. Like, you're
Part
getting
two.
insights that no one else would ever get. But and we should drop in a second. But
Yeah.
I'm gamifying business. So I'm using agents and LLMs and HTML and interesting processes to gamify building business and operating a company as a small scale individual. So yeah, it was actually, I should have muted it, but in the background there was like really loud money clicking sound. And so I'm trying to, as running AI Force as a company, pretend like I'm playing a video game, because I don't get to play video games anymore. And so this would be a great bridge for me.
Yeah. Right on. So you're gamifying it. So you just made it sell then.
It was actually, I made a connection.
Okay.
So there are different sounds for different things.
It's like
And
it's
yeah, I've
a.
got like a dashboard.
It sounds like pennies dropping instead of quarters or something.
Yes, it
Like
was
it's
like,
almost. It's not
actually,
as much, but it's there.
the sound I used for the new connection was Mario, from Mario, when you collect a coin.
Ding.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's
Nice.
it. And so I've got little sounds for different things that happen. So I can, but I need to think about that in the future. I need to mute the tab before I get on a call, because that, if there's a lot going on, that could get really loud for me and participants. But
I don't know.
yeah, it's really cool. Like,
It'll be
I
like a
love it.
whole experience for your listeners. Like, what was that? Like, oh, my
My
whole
agents just
business is gamified, and that was me making money while talking to you.
that was me. No, actually, that'd be pretty sick. You're right. I should probably embrace it a little bit and just, yeah, that's
Yeah.
neat.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever listened to Rush Limbaugh, and like that's probably a very triggering name for a lot of people. But like I had a lot of family who's like really into Rush Limbaugh, and he would always say like it's time for an insane profit timeout, and you're like, what does that mean? You're like, oh, he's making insane profit off of this timeout. Like I get it, and he was just like upfront like. Excuse me while we sound off on the people that are paying my bills. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like all right, there
Wow.
you go. Like just embrace it, I
That's
guess.
kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll keep that story in mind, actually, as I go forward. But yeah, no, like, yeah. I'm hoping that this changes the game for me personally. But yeah, my agents just told me that I made a new connection. So
That's
after
awesome.
this chat, I'm going to go find out who I'm connected with, and engage and do a little mini celebration myself.
Well, you don't have a chatbot that's going to engage for you.
No, see, there's this like transition that has to take place where I need to fully own, trust, and kind of like get my brand into the AI bots that work for me. So I don't uh I don't like the EM dashes. I don't like the things that come out of the LLMs that are like clearly obviously agentic or like a LLM delivered. So I still do all my personal interactions, and then at some point though there will be a slight transition where some of the standard stuff will get automated.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. It's amazing to me that like as much as they talk about like human, how human the interactions are, and uh, how the agents can have their own voice and sound like you and me, like you're like, oh, that sounds even with all that, like it sounds like an agent, you know. At
Yeah,
least it's not saying
exactly.
like greetings of the day. Like if you say greetings of the day, like we're done.
It's over. I hope this email finds you well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
How polite.
no, no,
You are
not
the most
polite.
polite.
But instructions, especially if you can get like 17,000 words in an instruction box, you can really change how it sounds. Like you would be surprised, I think. Maybe you wouldn't, I don't know. A lot of people will be very surprised by some of the content that they read is not human. A lot of it actually is not human, and they don't know it yet. And they're going
Hmm.
to find out later on. Maybe they'll find out. I don't know how these platforms clamp down. I hope that they want to clamp down because I want to be able to differentiate LLM generated material versus a human generated thing. And right now, it's just you can't do it. There's tools. Maybe those tools will come out and become widely adopted on the platforms, but you can still work around those tools. Like it can just be done. And so we're in a world right now, and nobody like the cloak is on over everybody's eyes. But there's a lot of AI generated content out there, and there's some of your favorite like things that you follow, and like it feels good. And you're like, oh, this is great content, but you just don't even know it yet that a person did not write that, and but you think that they did. And I think that's a bad spot to be. But hopefully, we get that addressed at some point.
Yeah, I think that opens up another can of worms as well. Just like I post my videos on YouTube, so like I've been looking around, like how do people get popular on YouTube? And you
Yeah.
see they're like, oh well, find out what other people are doing and do something similar. But there's like a striking amount of like you did the exact same thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So like, okay, an agent at that point is very easy of like, okay, just make me the thing that everybody else is doing and I will go do it. So it's still like me doing it. Like Mr. Beast
Mm-hmm.
still has to like blow stuff up or whatever he does.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like does he necessarily have to write the script for his show versus like, control C, control V what other people are doing. I guess with an agent you don't even have to do that anymore. You just take it.
Just take it. You just want a script delivered to your inbox. You want to look at it and say, yeah, I'm good with that. Let's go. And
Yep.
then the agent takes the second part. So that at the end of the day, it's kind of neat. Like our value as humans will just be very human things. So doing a chat like this, very human. Anything live, anything where, especially live virtually, but even more importantly, live and in person, those events and those things become so much more valuable as we move forward, as people crave human connection, as we start to realize like the digital stuff that we're consuming is it's not clear who it was created by. We'll still value human connection. So we'll be, I think I'm leaning into this. I think that live, like I know this can still be manipulated like digitally, but where it's a little bit harder. It takes a lot more effort. So just the the chances that this live event is truly real and that like I'm actually right here are much higher than if you were to go like read a post for me. And I mean that's not true for me personally. So like all my stuff's still me, but other places it's not. And so human engagement, human experiences, going to meet up at a coffee shop is going to be a much bigger deal as we move forward in the future.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like that's the theme that I've been like hammering with everybody. And like the place of AI and automation is like let humans do the most human things. Let's enable humans to be better and more effective in their creative and interpersonal things, and you know use the automation for enabling those things. Like you said,
Yeah.
like my goal over the next like 2 years is to buy a robot lawnmower. I'm like, I'm tired of mowing the lawn. Like, I'd rather, do just about anything else in life than
Yeah.
mow the
Yeah. Yeah.
lawn.
Yeah.
That's not everybody. A lot of people like doing it, but like, I don't like. There's so many more high value things I can be doing other than mowing the lawn, such as
Yes.
landscaping. Like, I still have to like there's not a robot yet that maybe Boston Dynamics and Salesforce will come up with a robot that can dig a hole for me, but that doesn't exist yet. So like I still have to do the higher value things around the house, and lawn mowing is not at the top of that list.
Man, that's just it. You're so right. Like if you get to step away from the hour that you spend actually mowing the lawn, you can use that hour for planning the landscaping. And so you can just have so much, like the level of nicety that you can have and the enjoyment that you can get just keeps moving up. So I do look forward to that. Well, I do have to drop now for 11 o'clock, but it was great to
So
chat
good.
with you.